Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Guys, today's story comes out of Indianapolis. The title reads, Indy man killed outside woman's home one day after protective order against him denied. Now, before we get into this, guys, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing, I want to let you guys know real quick that we did reach over 100 subscribers. I'm going to do a formal celebration for this. I'm just going to say how much I'm appreciative of what we've done here. To get to 100 subscribers, it may seem small, but I gotta tell you, I didn't think I would get here, and we are here, and it's because of you, okay? The good guys, okay? I would like to think that we're all good guys here, all right? So, I'll do something formal, but let's get back to the story and to business at hand, and let's start off with this story.
A man who surrendered to Metro Police at the scene of a deadly shooting yesterday, no longer in custody. Our cameras caught the man turning himself in on the near northeast side. Police say he shot another man to death.
He's not facing charges, and now we're learning more about what led to that shooting. Jesse Wells shares more tonight on why police say it falls into a growing trend in our city.
While police didn't explain exactly what led to the deadly shooting here at this home, court records do show that a protective order was filed against the victim of the homicide just 3 weeks ago, asking him to stay away from the property. Just after 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, a man named Keith Brown was shot multiple times at a home near 25th and Rural. The 54-year-old died after being taken to the hospital.
Get out of the car! Just keep your hands up!
Minutes later, with our cameras rolling, the suspected shooter returned to the scene and surrendered to police. While that man was being handcuffed, those who knew the gunman insisted he acted in self-defense.
Now, guys, let's stop it here. Looks like this is the Good Samaritan. Why the police have allowed the news crew to film is beyond me, but I guess they were there at the right time. Anyway, do you notice that the good guy came back to the scene? Most of them, especially those who are using their firearm in self-defense, usually stay on the scene to, I guess, be questioned by the police, even though they don't have to. And we are majority of people who do this do not talk to the police. In my opinion, that's what I think. Okay. But I gotta say, guys, only good guys do this, right? They had the gun trained on him, and I know from their point of view, we don't know if he's the shooter or not. At the time, they didn't. This usually is what happens. Now, the self-defender here and the Good Samaritan came to the aid, I believe, of this woman here and shot this older gentleman who's in his 50s. Okay, for me, I always, and I know I harped on this the last video. I don't like when men die over women. I hate it. Okay, you can die for a woman, meaning by protecting her. That's your woman. You protect her. It's okay. You can die for your woman. That's what it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay? But over her? No. Okay? And if they had a protective order and it failed and he shows up, who's really supposed to be protecting who? The wife is supposed to be protecting herself. The woman herself is supposed to be protecting herself. The girlfriend. Okay? Why didn't she have a gun? Instead, another man stepped in to protect her, right? And we often see this as the case. And I don't like seeing that, okay? But this guy here seems to be the good guy. All right? So let us see if we can get any more from this story.
He ain't do nothing wrong.
Detectives spoke with that individual, spoke with other witnesses, collected video and forensic evidence, and after consultation with the prosecutor's office, the individual who was believed to be responsible for the incident was released pending further investigation.
While it's not clear what took place in the moments before the shooting in late February, the woman who lives at the home on Rural filed this petition for a protective order claiming Brown had stalked her home and broke into her house and car while she was at work. Court records show that protective order was denied by the court on Tuesday, the day before the homicide. So far, IMPD says 11 of the 50 homicides this year have been deemed non-criminal. That is a huge increase compared to the last 2 years. In fact, in 2022, there were only 14 non-criminal homicides for the entire year.
Guys, let me stop it one more time. If you notice, okay, and we don't know because people, we don't know who tells the truth. We don't. In this particular case, the woman tried to get a protective order to make sure that this guy stays away. That didn't happen, okay? And we know that this particular state, Indianapolis, Indiana, okay, they have constitutional carry, okay? So she could carry her firearm, she could get one, but she may not have been able to get one. Why? Who knows, okay? But she should have been able to protect herself. If she can't get a protective order from the court, she should have been at least been able to protect herself, especially if this guy, like the report has already said, that he's broken into her car, tried to get into her house. But again, she could be lying, right? But in this case, this man did show up at her residence. Okay, and it looks all bad for him. He shouldn't have been there. Although the restraining order did not work. So he was in his right to be there. But should he have been there? Absolutely not. I will say it 100%. He should have been nowhere near that woman's house. For what? You're no longer together. You're not an item. And now you have perished over a woman. You see? This should not happen. This is not what I like to see. But we will absolutely like to see that this guy, apparently, he had to shoot this guy in self-defense, especially after they let him go. And you got neighbors. We can see it from the video. We hear them saying, hey, he didn't do anything wrong. So that guy must have been at fault. Let's hear the rest.
It's certainly more than we've seen in the past, but there's no specific pattern that we've been able to identify as to why these incidents have occurred.
While the suspect in the shooting wasn't arrested, police reports show the woman who lives at the home was arrested on drug-related charges. Finally, while the suspect was released from custody, ultimately it will be up to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office to decide if any criminal charges should be filed against the shooter. Jesse Wells, Fox.
Okay, now that makes sense. If she was caught on a drug charge, she cannot purchase a firearm. When she fills out her form, whatever 7, whatever you want to call it, okay, that question is there. Drug, whatever it may be. So that makes sense. That she can't get a firearm to protect herself. Okay. Anyway, but if we're going to be, and this is my thing too, if we're going to be legalizing certain drugs, especially marijuana, I think you should be able to get a gun. And for a lot of people, this bars them from getting a gun, and I don't know if this is by design or what, but guys, interesting case. This particular Indy man that was killed looks like he shouldn't have never been there. Even though there was a protective order, she should have been able to defend herself, but she couldn't because, of course, she has a drug charge. And so another man steps in, a good guy, by all accounts, from all his neighbors, and he stepped up and defended this woman or someone nearby because obviously it looks like he deserved it. I would like to hear more facts about this case, but who knows? But anyway, guys, if we follow this man's example, okay, if he was a real bad guy, he would have left. He would have been on the run, and we continually see good guys. Good guys usually stay on the scene. Good guys usually come back, and that's what this guy did. And so it's remained to be seen, but I think he's a good guy. That's my opinion. Anyway, guys, again, I'm going to say thank you guys. We are at 100 subscribers. It's awesome. We're over that. But I think the channel will just keep or continue to grow, and I'm going to be excited for that. I'm going to make something formal again. But guys, let's remember, good guys carry guns. Good guys should always have guns. And if good men do nothing, there will be no good guys.